Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's get it on. From here starts the speaking test. This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place in IELTS Academy. The candidate is Amir Mehdi Qasemi. The candidate number is 014-13278. The examiner is Joseph. Examiner number 443533. Good afternoon. My name is Joseph. Would you please tell me your full name?
Good afternoon. I'm Amir Mehdi Qasemi, and you can call me by the name Amir.
And can I see your identification?
Sure. There you go.
That's fine. Thank you. Well, let's start with the first part. In the first part of the exam, I will ask you some personal questions. First, I'd like to ask you about your friends. Do you have a lot of close friends?
I wouldn't say close, but I have many friends right now at the moment. I would say my closest friend is my brother, and I have another friend too, but we're not that close together.
And how often do you contact your friends?
Usually, I would say almost every day. We're really in contact with each other. We have a group and we message each other a lot there, and we send posts and all the other cool
And
stuff.
do you think friendship is important?
Definitely, yes. It is important because you get to know their information, their idea and what they think. They can really make you to become a better person.
Now let's move on to talk about art. Are you fond of art?
Actually, I'm really not into art that much. I don't follow the painting or those kind of stuff that much. But if we say music, I'm really into music.
And is it necessary to have art classes in school years?
It can be very, for example, crucial for children because they can get to know if they are interested in art or not. Some people really don't like art, and it can be very essential for the children.
How often do you visit art galleries?
Actually, not that much. Like I said, I'm really not interested in art. But if I would visit it from time to time if a friend asks me to. But myself, no, I wouldn't do that.
Now let's move on to talk about sending messages. How often do you send text messages to people?
I rather call people actually because texting, you can't send emotions based on text. It really matters to me. For example, when someone messages me, I can't understand if they're angry, if they're happy. I don't understand anything. But when I call them, I feel more comfortable with them.
All right. Do you prefer to call a person or send him a message?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, yes, I rather calling people because it's much more easier. Personally, it's much more easier for me, and especially the close friends, I would say.
And how has texting and messaging benefited you the most?
I would say because it can benefit. Obviously, it benefits the entire humanity. But for example, if I'm far away or I'm lost, I can call a friend or my parents to come and pick me up, and it can be very helpful.
All right, this is the end of part one. Now on part two, I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make notes if you wish. But don't worry if I stopped you. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, the topic is describe a short journey you usually take but dislike. Here's the pen and the cue card where you can also make some notes, and your preparation time starts now. All right, your 1 minute preparation time is over and you can start speaking now.
I do lots of walking in my everyday routine, but one of the important walks that I do is to my university. There is I would say like 5 kilometer distance until my university, and I usually walk to there, and it's like it is necessary, but at the same time it can be boring sometimes because the road like it's so crowded in the streets sometimes, and it gets really frustrating to me to be in the streets and walk all the time. But there's a bus station that goes to my university as well. I take that sometimes. From time to time, I go with the bus, and it's really boring, and I don't like it that much. But another travel that I do, it's for the workplace, the office that I work in, and that's I take the road like it's until the metro station. I go until there, and from there there's a little bit of road, but since it's far away, I get really tired. The walking really gets boring sometimes. But I would say the university one, it's really hard, I would say. And walking, and sometimes I get really tired, and coming back especially, it's even more frustrating for me, because like after the class I get really tired and I need to go back the entire way. And it's really not that, and it's really not that interesting to me.
All right, your 2 minute time is up. And would you please hand me back the piece of paper and the pen? Thank you. Now we can move on to the third part. We've been talking about a short journey you usually take but dislike.
Yes.
And I'd now like to ask you some questions related to this. Do you think journeys have become easier due to the use of navigation apps?
It has become really easier. Obviously, I use it a lot. For example, like coming to every place, it can really help. But unfortunately, one of the problems of taking navigations from the app or something, it makes you don't remember the addresses. And if you wanted to go to the same place again, you would need to use a navigation again. You wouldn't remember any of the addresses or the ways.
And why do people usually embark on journeys in your country?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Why do people usually embark on journeys in your country?
In my country, people really like taking journeys. Mostly, they would like take cars, and they would go with cars. But I really encourage people to take journeys, because it can really be healthy, and you can get your mind clean about the stress that you have in your life. It can be very interesting, and I do take journeys a lot.
And as traveling has eased, do people nowadays plan their journey routes as compared to the past?
I don't think they do, because in the past, people became so much more I would say. Can you repeat the question once more?
All right. As traveling has eased, do people nowadays plan their journey routes as compared to the past?
Actually, yes, I would take that back, because with the navigation apps that you mentioned, it's much more easier to take roads easier than before, and it can be, it's changed because before that people had to ask about addresses and stuff like that.
Has backpacking become popular nowadays?
It has become, yes, more popular since most of the people like to carry more stuff. For example, in the past people didn't have laptops and other electric devices, but now they do, and it can be really helpful for them. And lot of more stuff that you can carry around.
All right. And what are the reasons people choose to travel and explore new places?
Well, clearly it can be because they want to reduce their stress in their life and their everyday work and their everyday routine. And I would say probably it can be very like helpful for your own body. You can spend your time with your friends and with your family, and that can be really helpful.
And what are the most essential items to carry on a journey?
As of the I would say in the modern era, a phone and an electric device like laptop can be really necessary. And we could say if you are going to stay in a like if you want to take a long journey and if you want to sleep in the, for example, jungles, it would be better to take a huge backpack and take clothes and pillows and tents, and it can be really helpful for you in there. And some clothes can be helpful too. They can really be good, and I would say lots of other things.
All right, thank you very much. This is the end of the speaking test. Now you can sit back and take a deep breath and relax and give me 2 minutes to review what you did.
Sure.
I'll let you know after.
Thank you.
Speaking course. This course is made up of 5 offline speaking videos in which you will learn all the necessary tips and techniques to take the IELTS speaking test with a high score.
Tell me about your family. Do you like...
In addition to that, you will have access to useful grammar and vocabulary resources. Once you finish your course, you will have 1 online mock test of speaking along with comprehensive feedback under the same exam conditions.
Interesting question. A very...
Join us to become our next successful candidate.
Well, welcome back. Well, I did review your performance based on the 4 criteria, and as you may know them, fluency and coherence is one of them, lexical resource or vocabulary, grammatical range and accuracy, and finally pronunciation. So let's start with your fluency and coherence. You maintained the flow of speech, you spoke naturally, and you were easy to follow. You gave long answers and supported your claims, and you connected different sentences using a range of connectives, and you did not hesitate a lot, but you did repeat yourself a couple of times, and it's okay to repeat yourself a couple of times, but not a lot of times. So as long as this does not affect your coherence, it's okay. But I prefer, and I recommend actually, that you try to use some boosters. You did not use a lot of boosters, and by boosters I mean before you want to go on with the answer, try to come up with a booster. For example, it's a hard question.
Right.
Or in my opinion, or I believe. So these boosters can help you, give you some time to think about the ideas,
Right, yeah.
in order to avoid those pauses and hesitations. So this is the tip in order to increase your band score. But generally you did very well, except for a few self-correction and hesitations. With regards to lexical resource or vocabulary, you did use a wide range of vocabulary. You did use very amazing words like frustrating, or I'm not into art, or from time to time.
Right.
You did use a couple of beautiful words to describe the situation. That's what matters. You were really amazing in the way you describe the situations. You come up with beautiful phrasing to describe the situation, find the answer, produce the answer to the question. But sometimes you make some mistakes in the word choice. You said, go with the bus, or go on bus, or take the bus, or use the bus to go to school or university or whatever. And you overused the word really. You could have said, man, you could have said extremely. I got extremely tired. Or instead of, you said very tired, very boring, very, and really boring, really tired. You overused really. And
I think I stressed out in there. That's the
exactly. Yes. Try to avoid and manage this stress. I'm not telling you and asking you to avoid or reduce the stress. You have to manage it, and then you have to avoid overusing some specific words and find a replacement. Find an alternative, or what we call synonyms to those words. I was extremely, extraordinarily tired, or I was exhausted. Instead of saying I was really tired, I was exhausted. I ran out of breath. So these are beautiful. So you can use this idiomatic language or collocations in order to diversify your responses and flaunt your capability and skills in English.
Yes.
I know that you know those words and those collocations, but you forgot to use them because of your stress. Try to manage and control your stress in order to easily find those words. When you reach out to your word treasure, try to find them. So this is with regards to vocabulary. When it comes to grammar, you had the ability and skill to use both complex and simple structures. But you showed and displayed a limited range of complex structures. I know that you are able to use those complex structures like the if sentences, the conditional sentences, or some relative and subordinate clauses, but you used a limited number of those complex structures. You did say, I rather. You should have said, I'd rather.
Right.
I'd rather stay than go. You said, I rather, and you used it twice. Try to pay closer attention to how to form those complex structures. That will help you a lot and definitely will increase your band score. And you also made this mistake, man. You said much more easier. What did you mean by much more easier? Much easier. So you should have said much easier. Man, this will make it problematic for you because I know that you do know that it is not expressed in this way. Of course, you know that the right and the correct way of saying it is much easier. Try to pay closer attention wisely. Try to wisely manage your stress to come up with the accurate combination of the words and the phrases. And you said the distance until my university. Until we use it to describe the time, right? Until then, right? But you said distance until university. It's distance to the university. Or you said I didn't had. Mistakenly, you should have said I didn't have.
Yes.
I know you know, but you don't pay attention, man.
Yes.
Try to pay attention. Try to be careful not to make these slight and subtle mistakes, but those mistakes can easily mark you down.
Right. Yes.
Pay closer attention to them. It's a speaking test. You have to be careful. And finally, with regards to pronunciation, you don't have any problem with pronunciation. You're easily rising and falling. You have the rise and fall, and you have the intonation and the rhythm. You apply music to your sentences and you used it naturally. You didn't put any effort to form those musical sentences, because the sentences need to be musical and need to have some rhythm in order to better convey the message, right? And you naturally did this, and it's because you have a good command of the pronunciation. But except for one mistake, you said I want or they want, and you meant they want. So pay attention and be careful with how to pronounce the sound wa. It's W, and it sounds like wa, not va.
Yeah.
If you just take into consideration these tips, you will definitely be able to increase your band score easily, at least by 1 band score.
Right.
Thank you very much.
How much was my score?
Your final band score is 6.5, and believe me, if you just do not forget these tips,
Right.
you'll be able to increase it
Yes.
at least by 1 band score. And good luck. Do you have any questions?
No, good. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Take care.
Thanks.